actually, maybe you want to pull out the currency that's showing a little bit of weakness at 69.61. There was a bit of dollar weakness, which we thought will translate. But now, okay, the Indian rupee has gone to 69.71. So that's suddenly the dollar has become expensive by 10 pies. We had a weak dollar index to start with, and therefore perhaps people were not prepared for this. There's a sudden weakness coming there. I personally would not worry about this, because on December 30th, 31st and Jan 1st, you normally see a very big inflow of dollars, which we are told is some companies wanting to meet some deadline. And therefore, you see the strength coming in the rupee, which normally is given away in the first few days of the new year.
Okay.
So this could be technical adjustment. We'll try and get you an expert on this. Otherwise, there doesn't seem to be anything specific that should worry the currency markets just yet. Crude is still very much in that 53 mark, and therefore we shouldn't really worry about currency. 53.05, $53 and change for the rupee. It shouldn't worry us. I think these are technical positions because of the unusual strength seen in the rupee in the last 2 days of the year.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
we have a guest?
Yeah, we have a guest with us, and we have been getting auto sales numbers which haven't been looking that great. And VST Tillers, that's the next stock on our radar. Weak set of numbers coming in for December. In fact, year to date, the sales numbers haven't been looking that great. To get some clarity on that front, we have Mr. Mahendra, the VC and MD of the company, who joins us. Hi, Mr. Mahendra. Thanks so much, sir, for joining in. Could you give us some details? Why exactly were the tiller sales down so drastically? I think bulk of your sales come in from Karnataka, and even tractors more or less flattish at around that 600 units odd. Why is that? Because of subsidy payment?
In so far as tillers are concerned, I think the loss has been substantially because of the subsidy which you spoke of. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be incorrect to say that Karnataka has been our only area. Karnataka is one of our areas. So has Tamil Nadu, Assam also.
Okay.
The subsidies, although we have the orders, because the backlog of subsidies, we were not able to fully capitalize on the situation.
Okay.
The other thing is the DBT scheme, which has already been now introduced in some of the areas, needs to stabilize.
Okay.
And we are hopeful that will happen over the next 1 year's time. It won't happen overnight. This is insofar as tillers are concerned. Is there any other question on tillers?
No, what is the unpaid subsidy amounts? Would you know? And these are due from what, the central government?
No, primarily the central government pays it to the state governments. The state governments have their own process times for various reasons.
Okay.
And invariably it gets delayed. In fact, this is one of the things that we've been talking to the people up in the in Delhi to say, look, how can we hasten this matter? Yeah. I think the new system, if this is implemented in the other states, which has just now got implemented in Andhra, if that similar system will certainly improve matters. In fact, we have dues which are sometimes even 1 year old, but we do not get more. Probably 5 to 6 months would be an average period in the past.
Okay.
So you mean the direct farm income scheme which Telangana has implemented is what you're referring to?
No, not really. That's a DBT scheme to the farmer.
Oh, right.
Just to the farmer.
Okay.
This is to the farmer.
Sorry.
All right. Mr. Mahendra, talking about tillers, just give us a breakup geographically. Much of your sales are in Karnataka, or just break it up for us?
No, it's not just Karnataka. We have in Karnataka, we have in normally, I'm saying normal years, we have in Karnataka, Orissa, Andhra, Tamil Nadu.
If you could break it up, sir, with some numbers?
Numbers I don't
in percentage,
have with me, but I don't straight away have it with me. Mm-hmm. But the drop won't be substantial in terms of what we're looking at, though it has fallen now. We're still hopeful that the schemes which have now been put into place will give us improved results over the next 3 months.
Okay.
Right. I just wanted to get your view on rural demand itself. We've had somewhat negative numbers on two-wheeler sales by a company as big as Hero Moto. We also had negative sales on tractors from Mahendra and Mahendra. There were question marks on rural demand. What would you say?
I think there's a slight difference between the big players and us. our strengths have been substantially in this in the compact segment of the tractors, where we had introduced in Maharashtra and Gujarat. I'm saying had because we are during this year we've spent a fair amount of time, which will take probably another 6-8 months to stabilize in other areas. But Maharashtra and Gujarat, which have been our prime areas, that I think I'm competent to comment only about that, because our footprint is not as elaborate as the others. And through this year, that's what we've made an effort to improve on. The Maharashtra, they had announced a subsidy for the tractors also. Unfortunately, it was never implemented.
Okay.
And added to it, towards the end of the season or toward the middle of the season, the drought kicked in in certain areas, and that has certainly affected us.
Okay.
All right. Gujarat has been similar in Saurashtra and northern Gujarat, the drought portion.
Okay. And Maharashtra and Gujarat would account for bulk of your tractor sales?
It has been in the past.
Okay.
We consciously tried to move away because one is certainly the competition has been much severe. But I think more than that, it's our necessity for us to move away from very specific areas, which we've done in the this year.
Mr. Mahendra, sir, let's get some numbers going. Year to date, tiller sales, they're less than 16,000 in comparison to 20,000 same time last year. And even in terms of tractors, it's less than 6,100. That compares with close to 7,800 on a year-on-year basis. By the end of this year, what kind of a number are we looking at for tractors as well as tillers?
We certainly expect it will be a reduced numbers compared to last year, but it will be very marginal in case of tillers. Probably in tractors, it will be a little bit more. I think in the region of probably 17 to 18%, maybe tractors, and tillers maybe about 4 to 5%. We are still confident that things will settle down. But what we put in place, I think it will take us another 3 to 6 months by the time we really get going.
So we're talking about a degrowth of 4% on tillers and 16-17% in tractors.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Okay, Mr. Mahendra, we do hope the subsidy scheme kind of stabilizes. Thank you very much indeed for joining us, and have a great 2019. The rupee appeared to start the new year with a bang. We saw a substantial amount of strength in the last trading day yesterday, 0.5% higher. But in the past few minutes, the rupee has been giving off some of its gains. As you can see, the dollar becoming expensive. That's what the chart is indicating. To give us some idea of what's happening in the markets, Bhaskar Panda of HDFC Bank joins the phone line. Bhaskar, good morning. A very happy new year to you. How should we understand this sudden 10 paise weakness we saw in the rupee?
Good morning. Happy New Year to you, Lata. I have a bad voice. I think I heard some buying from the oil companies.
Okay.
I cannot verify that, obviously, but it's something which has come about. I haven't heard anything extraordinary as of now.
What's your sense about the crude market, about the rupee market, though? Do you think it just lingers between, say, 69.5 and 70? Where would your bias be?
I think any rally from here, honestly, if you look back on the technicals, should be sold instead of buying. But probably as oil goes up, probably people will be more towards buying side. So it won't go beyond 70. That's what I feel.
Okay, there's been a substantial fall in bond yields, right? Yesterday we saw it go all the way to 7.4243, now 7.38. Any specific buying, foreign buying or something?
No, I haven't heard anything on that.
All right. Okay. Mr. Panda, thank you very much indeed for joining us with your thoughts. So, heard of oil company buying. It's in any case, something which is making up for the steep rise in the rupee over the past 2 days.
I think we got TVS Motors numbers as well. Yes, yet another miss out there. It's coming at 2.71 lakh. That compares with Nomura's estimates that are expecting more than 2.9. And looking at the breakup, the total two-wheeler sales, that's been a growth of around 4% odd. But you're looking further into it, and domestic two-wheeler sales, that's grown by only around 1%. So that's the problem part, because if you're looking at the exports and you're looking at, the scooter sales as well, that's up by nearly around 9%. So the problem has been the domestic two-wheeler sales out there That's grown by only around 1%. Otherwise, in fact, this appears like a bit of a miss. It's close to around a 7.5 to 8% miss in comparison to estimates. And that explains why the stock is moving lower. Exports are up 25%. But the problem is really in the domestic piece, though it's a smaller part of their business. And the stock moves to the low point of the day as we speak, Lata.
Okay.